Hello traders, I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Not quite over yet, but I had a terrific time, so I'm rearing to go off for next week's market. Now, when I left you on Thursday morning, last thing I said to you was don't bother with the rate rise decision for the ECB. Concentrate on the press conference at 1:30 and mark off the first 5 minutes of the press conference. If you'd have done that, you would have ended up with this chart with the gap down here at 450, and so you should have taken what, or had you followed this, I think it was about 563 from memory. So it was an entry at 563. It was a stop. Something like even something as simple as about 575 would have done it. I think the range was even tighter than that. So you are risking, so the risk was 12 pips for a reward on a gap fill of 113 pips with 12.4 down there. So you're risking potentially, it's about 1 to 10 ratio for the gap fill, or higher for the big 400 mark. Okay, so I hope you got at least some of that, but I would do a screen dump of your charts like this and make sure that you are ready for that next time, because that was a terrific trade. Smack on the button of my recommendation had you taken it. If you haven't taken it, plenty of time for shorts on the DAX. I want to show you another slide. This was the 15-minute chart for the day. So we came into the Euro session pushing up into the highs. Then we sold back to the previous day's low at 400. Into the press conference, we went up to the 200%, just nicked above it, and then we started to roll over. So we had, at the press conference, we had a 1, 2, 3 wave move right into the 127 extension. That's one of the reasons why I was pointing out 12,004, because it came down to the 127 extension here. This was yesterday's lows, yesterday's highs. So these 15-minute charts gave you 2 or 3 entries, but had you just waited for the press conference, then that alone was worth 160 pips. Okay, so let's get back to this week's charts. Okay, DAX on the daily chart, so and the hourly. So you can see on this chart we've got this lengthy distribution pattern through May and June into, sorry, it doesn't go as high as that, into July. A little bit of bounce sold into. So we are catching up. We've got a gap fill at 12, just under 12,100 from way back, April I think it is. And here we are at 12,250. So if you get the chance, I would short into any resistance from Thursday or Friday, which will put it at anything from 380 to 426. So let me just run that past you. That is rough. Yeah, I'm looking for levels around about 380 to 426 to sell into, to see if we can get the gap fill at just under 12,100 gap fill. Okay, so make a note of these numbers and see if you get sell signals at those numbers for the DAX. If we look at the 1 hour chart, 378 would take us into the lower part of the fib zone, and 390 would take us into some of these resistance levels, trend line resistance now. Okay, you might want to put that on your chart. And that's where I get 426 from, because it's 50% of the last move. So let's just switch across to gold. Gold looks long. I think it needs a pullback to 1245. And let's now dip into the charts. So US dollar yen. That is a potential sell at 150. Pound yen is a potential sell around about 490, potentially 542. Data this week, we've got Fed on Wednesday at 7 p.m. There's no press conference. So the when you don't get a press conference, the expectation is for things to be as they are. So we're not looking for a rate rise according to that principle from the Fed. So let's just go through the dollar pairs then. Excuse me. The daily on the pound was just narrowly higher. We've got a 20-day moving average holding here. So it's not a buy signal, it's a potential holding pattern as we come off in close to that support. So here 130.50, which is this fib level here, is a potential sell signal for that to sell at. But if we start closing above 130.50, then I would buy and see if we can get it close to 135. Okay, see on this 1 hourly chart I've got a couple of touches of this support area down here. So if we come down and test anything from 925 to 970 and hold, then I would consider buying. Otherwise I would just stick to the shorts, and 35.50 is a potentially good area to short. So I am going to highlight this area from this seller's bar here and see if that is worth, see if we get a sell signal up there. Alright, so pound yen looks a short, done that, 540. This one here, potentially a long. We've got a new low close above next day, we're holding the fib level. We've had a big push up here from March this year into 176.60. Here we are at 164.27. The market has opened again on because it's 9:15 Sunday night. We looked at this last week temporarily. If we get a pull back down to 163, 163.20, I would consider buying. Well, I will buy that, and I would increase my position size if that started to hold. And what else does that leave us with? Euro US. If we come down and hold 116.28, that's a potential buy to see if we can get to 117.50 plus on the back of this daily chart there. What else did I see? Oil. 45.50 is going to be absolutely crucial. How we behave around here is going to be if we can close up here in the first half of the week, then we could recover. Otherwise, a break down here of 45.50 could see us come down and test 45 and 44.20. It looks like a very bearish daily bar there. It looks like we could drop all the way back to, well, at least test 44.50 and potentially lower and come down and test 39. Okay, that's not just holding up. That's where I'll leave. Obviously, Traders Roundtable will go through all of these 1 hour charts look at the best possible entries based on the smaller time frames and of course the bigger picture, and got some fascinating charts in some of the stocks, so I'll go through that as well. So a nice short video tonight. See you at trade. Make sure you're logged in for Traders Roundtable at 7 o'clock, because it's your chance to ask questions about all sorts of things, from how to handle data, what I think are the best charts this week, what potential chart patterns are setting up, which might lead to some interesting moves, and so on. Okay, so make sure you're there so you can get any questions, any issues you've got to do with Scalper Score setups answered, and join the discussion. Okay, look forward to seeing you, and enjoy what's left of your weekend. Bye for now.